always great to be here, man.
Well, we're 2 weeks into the preseason, and, this NFC East, already some interesting injuries inside the division, one of which is not Sam Bradford, believe it or not. If Sam Bradford can stay healthy through 16 games, and a lot of people say that's a big if, what is the ceiling for Philadelphia?
I've been saying that if he stays healthy for all 16, like you say, big if. Guy has to, if we look at his career, including college, he's not done it more often than he's done it. He's not played a full season more often than he's done it. But if he stays healthy for a full 16 games, I mean, think about this. You're talking a 10-16 last year that had inconsistent quarterback play, and you've got a guy like Bradford who can go vertical, who's going to protect the football, who can run Kelly's system to its full extent, where Kelly doesn't have to worry about scaling things back or keeping things out of the system to protect him from his self-destructive quarterbacks. You put Philadelphia, you get that system running for 16 games, and for a playoff run, I think Super Bowl will be the limit. I think it'd be like they should be the NFC favorite if he stays healthy for let's say 19 games to include the postseason.
What is it about his skill set that makes you feel that way?
Well, in college, he was superb at vertical passes. He's also been superb at vertical passes in the pros. But it's not just that he's accurate and good at vertical passing. It's he protects the football very well. And when it comes to quarterbacks, one of the things I'm looking for is, if you've got a quarterback with a great receiver, like you've got, say, Cam Newton's a good quarterback. He throws to Kelvin Benjamin. Kelvin Benjamin scores a bunch of touchdowns last year because Kelvin Benjamin is just a bigger, taller guy. And if you throw a jump ball, he's going to out-jump the defender for the ball most of the time. But what I'm looking for is a quarterback who can make average receivers look better, good receivers look great, a guy who can make the players around him play that well, by finding them open, by reading defenses properly. Bradford did that as early as his rookie season, when he had the best rookie season I had seen in my career of doing this up to that point, and he's been doing it since. He's made St. Louis receivers who are mediocre. He made them look really good the last time he played in 2013, played that half season. So with what he's gotten early, I think he can make this group, they're not going to be the best in the league. I think this could be a top 10 wide receiver core, maybe even push towards a top 5 pass-catching core, depending on how often Philadelphia wants to the football.
Well, a lot of people obviously would be a little shocked by that. You got Dez Bryant, Odell Beckham in the division, Deshaun Jackson. Where do you rank the Eagles' receivers inside this division? Nelson Aguilar, obviously a rookie. Jordan Matthews, it seems like they've been using him exclusively in the slot. Riley Cooper, Josh Huff. A lot of people still a little bit concerned about the receiving core.
I don't think you've got nobody who can go toe-to-toe with Bryant or Beckham. You've got nobody you could say, okay, they're matching up with him. But like we know Dallas, okay, you've got Bryant. All right, we've got Cole Beasley, a good slot receiver. I don't think he's a great slot receiver. I think the Eagles beat them there. I think they've got better tight ends. I think they've got Terrence Williams, who's a good vertical threat. But between Aguilar and Matthews and things, I think that the Eagles can go just as vertical. So they're missing the one guy who's going to be an over-the-top matchup that you just have to fear. Although I think Jordan Matthews could be that guy. I mean, he was the best receiver in the SEC just a couple years ago, toughest conference in college football. So they don't have that one top guy, but if you take them as a whole, I think they have – I don't know that they have a major weakness as far as a pass-catching core, and I think you look at the other receiving cores, and for the most part you're going to find that they're going to have weaknesses. Maybe the Giants would be one that wouldn't, but they've got a lot of durability question marks. But beyond that, I think the Eagles, we talk them from top to bottom, they're as deep as anybody.
Running back situation. A lot of people wondered what it would look like without McCoy. I know it's a very small sample size of what we've seen so far, but Murray and Matthews, more productive than McCoy?
As a team, as a combination, yes, more productive than McCoy. I think that they're going to be able to. The thing is, though, McCoy was pretty good at putting up long breakaway runs, and he did a good metric I have called good blocking yards per attempt. Looks how productive back because they give him good blocking. McCoy's always been very well in that. Murray's more of a guy. He does good in that. But his specialty is that he'll do just as well on the first carry as he does on the 350th carry. That's been his specialty. So I think that they're going to be maybe more consistent. I think Murray will be able to break off some home runs, but he might not have been as good at getting gains all the time. And I think they're going to be more consistent with Matthews and Murray in the lineup.
All right, I want to ask about Scandrick and what that means at Dallas. A lot of people talking about that injury today. Is that something that they can overcome? Is Dallas going to be okay without him, or is that a major blow?
That's a domino effect. You lose that one top cornerback, and now everybody else in your coverage unit has to shift a spot. And it's from a talent perspective, even never mind the fact that they might have to learn a different role than they were going to have to play going in before that injury. When you start to shift the talent and say, okay, I've got one guy I think I can match up with. My top guy can match up with your top guy. My second guy can match up with your second guy. My third guy can match up with your third guy. You lose that top guy. Now your second guy has to match up against their one. Your third has to match up against their two. Even if you can match up at the top spots, and I don't know that Dallas can, that starts to hit your depth. And what happens all the time in every NFL season is by the time later in the season rolls around, you're going to have teams that have lost their cornerbacks, and now they've got third and fourth cornerbacks who shouldn't be on the field, and the other team will just keep finding a way to get them on the field. Dallas just took a step towards that troubling situation.
What does losing Murray do to their offense? How does it change Dallas's offense?
It changes it from the sense that you know who you're going to have out there all the time, and now you're going to have to rotate backs in and out. You're going to have guys, come in and out of the game. I don't think they're going to have anybody who they can say, hey, this is, we're going to be able to get this to you as a bell cow back. And when you've got to do that, if you're in New England, you can do that because you plan your entire offense around the idea of, oh, we got to do power rushing, we're going to put Jonas Grady. Oh, we got to do pass receiving. Okay, back then we're going to have Vereen. They've always found rules for their backs. Dallas had gotten into the idea of we've got one guy who can basically do it all. We sometimes rotate him in and out, but basically he's our guy. And now every time you're out there, okay, I've got McFadden. Well, he can't do this, he can't do that. Okay, I've got Randall. Well, he can do this and he can't do that. You've got to now adjust your roles for these guys. And if everybody steps up and plays where you're capable, maybe it won't be quite as much of an issue. But I have a feeling those backs have some weaknesses that Dallas is going to have to play call on, and it just makes their play call a lot difficult.
I'm talking with KC Joyner, ESPN.com, NFL Insider here on the Sports Bash 97.3 ESPN, taking a little look inside the NFC East. You think Odell Beckham Jr., he burst on the scene last year. He's got all the headlines. Everybody's anticipating that this guy maybe could have the best year of any wideout in the league. Too much hype for this kid? Do you think he backs it up?
I think that the Madden curse. My kid is playing Madden right now, so I got another brain. I think the Madden curse is going to bite Odell Beckham. I'll take it this way: from the last 8 games of the season, you're talking weeks 9 to 17, he averages 12.7 targets per game. Right? If you prorate that over a 16-game season, it would be 203 targets. ESPN Stats and Information has been tracking that metric since 2001. No one's posted that number, and only one player has ever gotten over 200 in that time frame. He's not going to take what he did the last half of the season, do it over 16 games. And not only that, he did this great job for the last 9 games of the season. That's fantastic. But he's got durability question marks. And the most passes, most targets he had at LSU, I believe, was 85. He never got into triple-digit targets at LSU, so he wasn't a high-volume guy there. So the idea that he can be a high-volume receiver for an entire 16-game stretch is not proving it. He might do it. I'm betting the idea that he won't. He's going to miss a few games, and you're going to have some highlight games along with some times where he's on the injury report.
Casey, we look inside this division right now. Dallas, New York, Philadelphia. Is anything different from when camp started to where we are now that has changed your mind about these teams? I didn't include Washington because I think they're clearly a step behind.
Yeah, Washington's definitely a step behind. Improved in some ways, but definitely a step behind. For these three, I'm more convinced that that New York is going to. They're going to have a good season. I think that Eli's going to he's going to have the kind of year where everybody keeps asking, even with the Super Bowls, like, oh, is Eli an elite quarterback? He's finally in a pass-centric system, and I think that's going to change our perception of him. I like where the Eagles are. I'm glad to see the Bradford. There was concerns. Okay, is he going to be back at full strength? Looks like he is. And at least, that seems to be fewer question marks. So that's a big thing. But the biggest news has to be Dallas Susan Scandrick. I mean, if they stay healthy the rest of the year and don't take any more injuries, great. But if once you start losing the top cornerback, man, that's a tough thing to come back from. So they're at a point where now they have to stay healthy. That's the biggest news, is that Dallas has to stay healthy now on defense, because if they lose even a couple more people, they're already going to be getting in a lot more shootout games than they want to, and those are low percentage propositions that they didn't get into last year. You start losing cornerbacks, teams are going to be throwing at you all game long. You're going to see a lot of 35-27 contests to Dallas.
Those two teams, the Giants and Dallas, open up the season on Sunday Night Football. The Eagles play the Falcons. We, of course, will be keeping our eye on the NFC East. KC Joyner will be helping us with that throughout the football season. We look forward to that, buddy. We'll talk to you next week.
Sounds like a plan.